Just settling in here for one of our bonus sessions. Take me a moment to get everything ready. Okay. Welcome. This is really just a bonus session here. For any questions you might have, a live Q&A. I know it's a slightly different time than our usual lives, and it's a Saturday, and it's a bonus, and I tend to get people from all different places tuning in here. Usually there's a lot of local people through word of mouth and folks that I know, and then we get people in Canada, west coast of North America, a lot of UK folks, some Australian folks. That seems to kind of often be it. You know, there's a few other folks too, but anyway, in my area, which is North Shore of Boston, I'm based in Marblehead. It is like a stunning, beautiful day, like we're probably not going to see for 6 months. So actually, I probably don't expect many local people to the North Shore Boston area to hop in because it is it's going to be like almost 80. Like I might go in the ocean today, even though it's also going to frost in 3 days. The wacky weather, the wacky world we live in. All the more reason to develop a meditation practice. I mean, there are a lot of chaos, a lot of areas, arenas of, you know, war and climate change, and it can be really overwhelming. So there's another reason, another benefit for meditation practice, sad though it is. So I will just kind of talk for a little bit, just a little extra information in case anyone hops on in the next 15 minutes. And I will offer a little meditation if anyone is watching a replay too. I don't actually have much of a prepared spiel, but I have a couple of questions. Even though it's a live Q&A and my retreat is often built on asking you many questions, why not ask you some more? Of course, if you have questions for me, even if you're watching a replay and you had a question you really wanted to ask me, you can type it into the comment and I will should hopefully see it. So this is the Q&A to look, even you could think of it as extension of the question yesterday of how do I make this work for me? How do I tailor the practice even a little bit further? How do I overcome this challenge, this obstacle? And, you know, so that's the question to start to think about. As we talked about, beware of false hope syndrome and the expectation that things will be easy, we might also want to look at what difficulties can we anticipate. It's worthwhile spending some time with a little bit of troubleshooting here as well. And so, you know, what practical obstacles are you encountering already in your practice? Maybe this is your first week. You've really tried to commit to regular meditation. Maybe this is something you've been doing for years. Again, I get people from all over the world and people from all stages in their meditation practice. You know, how do you manage distractions while meditating? This is kind of a perennial question that comes up. And might even, unless another question appears, I might do a meditation practice today, kind of linking with that. And, you know, what are you resonating with most, as we talked about yesterday? What kind of practices are kind of giving you something extra, connecting to you? Oh, I forgot to turn my light on. Ready for a bit of light? There we go. And other questions I have one list of other questions I like to ask you. How did you find out about the retreat? Again, if you're watching a replay, feel free to put that in. Have you ever done another kind of retreat or meditation class or program or group before, live or virtual or anything like that? I have done a smattering of all types, virtual, live, retreats, programs, classes. In my own teaching, I've taught a whole bunch of different things in different formats as well. Yeah, so, gosh, it might be hard for me to just ramble on for 15 minutes, so maybe I'll ramble on for 10 minutes. I never really talk all that much about the Calm Mind, Clear Heart program, but maybe while we are here, I will go in and show you what it looks like in the program. Just bear with me for a moment. The online piece, may as well, while I'm here, show you that. As I mentioned before, that program, the Calm Mind, Clear Heart 6-week program, is actually a mix of virtual and, well, it's nothing in person, but it's a mix of pre-recorded and live content. So I will show you what it looks like in the online content, since, you know, I can screen share and stuff while I'm here on Zoom. All right, just bringing it up here. All right, let's do screen share. So when you go into Calm Mind, Clear Heart, 6-week program for developing a meditation practice, you'll see over here on the left-hand side that there are content divided into 6 different weeks. We have week 1, getting started, which has 8 videos, but most of them have 4 or 5 videos in there. I think there are 2 meditation practices in each. So week 1 gives you a little bit more orientation. Many of these are videos. There's a survey and the workbook prints here. So yeah, we have a workbook in here that is 31 pages and has some questions for you, as well as a practice log where you can include your when, your where, here I have a what. So what kind of practice you might have done, how long you may have sat for. And we have, you know, just a little bit of content, a little bit of poems, some information here. Actually, I think I'm going to use this in my meditation today, this acronym S.O.L.A.R. Stop, observe, let it go, and return. We're going to do a little open awareness and working with distractions, because that's such a common question that I usually get that I haven't spent a lot of time with on the retreat. Okay, and so over here we have also week 2, mindfulness. We have a practice on mindful eating. It's just 7 minutes, but it's something that we also do inside of the live content because it's such a valuable one. So in all of these, it starts with the little thing and then it comes to me. We have a little more on developing self-compassion, a couple of practices there. Insight or Vipassana style meditation, which is mostly what I've had the greatest number of instruction in. The rain practice is in here. And an insight practice of noting different kinds of things, which, you know, so these are things you get to kind of do between classes, and then we talk about it in the class and we practice it a little more because it's always different. I know, I don't think anyone's tuned in yet on the live Q&A, but it's really different to have this exchange, this time for discussion. That really helps to kind of flesh out the experience and make it more relevant and make it more personal, integrate it into your life. Week 5, we look at expanded heart practices. This is where we get to do a lot of lovely work into the loving kindness. Also Tonglen, working with difficulty and suffering. And in the end, blooming from the mud. This is how to talk about showing up when things are really difficult and the importance of sort of embracing sometimes things that are difficult. And also a home retreat, talking about home retreat. I myself take time out when the retreat is finished and I'm not sort of on for such a continued time, especially with social media and whatnot. I take time to have my own home retreat. And so a lot of times there'll be some resources and a little bit of text here. You know, here's a link to some other resources that are kind of embedded into the course. So that's what the online course looks. You have 6 months to access that course. And then the one-on-one session with me, which I always wait until 3 weeks into the course, so people have a chance to kind of get into the material, to sort of show up in your own practice. I think I shared yesterday that a lot of times folks say it takes 3 weeks to really start to establish like that baseline of a habit. And I think that's probably about all I have to say. So the program, I need 4 people to run it, and 10 people is the top. So we try to keep it like a nice number. I've only had 10 people once. And yeah, I actually prefer it with like 5 or 6 people. That's really the sweet spot. So everyone gets to really contribute. Yeah, that's the program. If you have questions about that, let me know. If you have questions about your practice as a habit and how I can support you better, let me know. In addition to the 6-week program, ongoing 6 weeks program, I run just once a year now. The Seaside Meditation Circle meets every Wednesday evening in Eastern time. And we meet for like an hour. It's also over Zoom. It's also a format of little talk, little practice, and also time for discussion. I think the discussion is invaluable. I would add it into the retreat more. However, it would take so much longer, and then it will be harder for people to commit and show up. And I'm trying to make this easy for you, trying to make it sort of more bite-sized. And Seaside Meditation Circle is ongoing. It's like a monthly membership. There's always a 2-week free trial if you need some extra encouragement and you want more of a community and group to show up with. I've been running it for about a year now, and it's going really well. It's really, really great. We usually choose sort of one theme for the month, or sometimes a couple of months, and explore it. And there's an online component to Seaside Meditation Circle with lots of little meditations, including a course I have for relieving stress and anxiety called Inner Anchor. This is just a very short course with like 5-minute meditations, very short. And there's a home retreat in there. And also the Path to Presence retreat videos, I take them down next week. So in a way, I want to encourage, I will open this all and make this free and make it easy for you to show up, make the replays, but also have to give you just a little extra incentive as part of the giveaways. It's also part of why the videos do come down, so you do show up. The 6-week program, Calm Mind, Clear Heart, I used to offer that with no deadline. But then I found that if I actually offered it with 6 months to complete, it encouraged people to actually finish the course and get that work done. So similarly, I will take the videos for Path to Presence Retreat down next Thursday, and but they will go inside the Seaside Meditation Circle. So if that's something you want to kind of revisit and have access to, that's one way to do that. Wow, I did manage to ramble on for about 15 minutes. I haven't even had any tea, so I'm going to take a sip of tea and invite you into a short meditation practice with me. So this practice today is going to be just a little bit more of an open awareness practice. And we're going to use that acronym I just shared, S.O.L.A.R. Stop, observe, let go, and return, for working with the wandering mind or the monkey mind. I like to say that the mind secretes thoughts like the mouth secretes saliva. It's just a natural sort of functioning of the mind. So when we sit to meditate, it's not about pure silence, pure void, pure emptiness. It's about making space to be with what is already here. And that might include lots of chatter in the mind. And we also in meditation kind of come in, we invite into clarity and awareness how we're relating to things, how we're relating to our thoughts, how we're relating to the moment, how we're relating to the mind itself, right? And that monkey mind. So, if you're someone who is plagued by intrusive thoughts, negative fixations, things, anxiety, all kinds of things like that, it might sound scary to sit and be with your thoughts, but it can be really helpful to do it in this sort of container of spaciousness and support, and very gentle and kind with yourself, with compassion, always with compassion. So let's go ahead find a comfortable posture. Ended up talking an extra minute there. This is what happens when you leave me unleashed with no script. Take some time to listen to what your body needs right now to set yourself up to succeed. Getting comfortable. And once you kind of settle into a posture, you might close your eyes, you might kind of shrug your shoulders, adjust your chin, let your body lean in a couple of directions to really find what feels like a balanced, supported posture. And if you don't want to close your eyes, you can leave your gaze soft. And just take some time pausing as we start to notice what it feels like to start meditation. Notice what it feels like to start to direct your attention inwards, becoming aware of your body sitting, breathing in and know you're breathing in. Breathing out, know you're breathing out. Maybe you let your attention settle all the way down in the furthest tips of the toes and the feet and the legs and that contact with the ground. Just letting that unruly monkey mind climb down through the body, into the feet, into that small point of contact, those touch points, perhaps beneath your pelvis. You feel the pressure of your body just resting on the earth and feel the support that the earth holds. I like to have a way in to practice. So I offer some of those more concentration style techniques, focusing on the touch points, sensations in the body, the breath, the sounds. It's good to develop a sense of home base, of rest. But in this practice, we're just going to allow our attention to open up, letting that focus begin to loosen and just noticing what's arising as it's arising. Invite your mind to pause and take a rest. Notice that doing mind, the impulse and drive to get things done. Notice and soften. Just pause without reacting. We want to open up some space and freedom between stimulus and response. A great quote from Viktor Frankl. Between thought or feeling and action. Just tuning in, inviting your thoughts, your sensations, this kind of shifting sea that's always around us, this impermanence and change. Invite it into your awareness. And maybe as things rise to the foreground of your attention, you might note them softly. And it might jump around quite a bit. It might be pressure in the pelvis. You might suddenly be planning the next meal. And you might come back, softening on the exhale. What's it like to even allow the mind to wander? Just having this direct experience of each moment as it's arising. And still always shifting as your attention and your awareness shifts. Allow it to be open and fluid. Can you feel how you are held in this spacious awareness? Letting the next breath arise out of a softening belly. Noticing how this sense of spaciousness, the softening, facilitates this flow, this fluidity. If at any point you feel overwhelmed by this rapidly changing mind, this largeness, this spaciousness, just come back to the sense of home base, touch points, feet on the ground, sensations in the body, or the movement of breath. Just resting, just being for a short time. And then eventually, inevitably, the mind will wander, will be often some train of thought a million miles away, leaning into the forward of the past, out of the present. This is natural. Get to know this tendency of the mind, of the self, of being human. And when you wake up to the wandering mind, simply soften, pause, observe, let it go, and return your attention back to the breath, the body, the touch points, maybe the sounds around you, and opening to what's arising moment to moment. Maybe you start to feel that sense of non-identification, that you are not actually your thoughts. Your thoughts may be real, but not true. And so, same with the sensations, the feelings. This is life bubbling up within you, flowing through you. And we can shift how we relate to the moment, going from my pain in my knee to the pain in my knee. Just resting, allowing life to unfold. When you wake up to the wandering mind, stop, observe, soften, let go, and return. We do this like we are leading a puppy back. We do it with love and kindness. There may be an impulse to be like, darn it, I did it again. That wandering mind. See if you can notice that. Maybe you don't even need to fix things. You just invite a little extra softening, a little extra warmth and care. And what is it like to hand your monkey mind the mic and to notice what sort of thoughts are happening? You can even do that noting technique. That mental activity comes into clarity. It might be planning. You might notice when you're judging, thinking, remembering, all kinds of activities in the mind. Then you might shift your awareness back into the body or the sounds. How present can you stay? Does it help maybe to slow a sense of time, to notice all the things around us constantly in flux? And we ourselves are part of this flux. We are using our meditation practice like a little raft in the ocean to rest amongst the waves and to remember to not fear the waves because we are a part of the ocean. It's really getting a sense of this earth beneath us, the sky above us, and how we're all connected, this vast spaciousness, sense of belonging. You can rest here. And then letting these bells begin to signal the end of the practice, feeling it draw to a close. First, pausing, softening, noticing what may have shifted in this little meditation for you, how you might feel now. May have been very challenging. Open awareness practices are not easy. They take practice, like everything. And so if you found it challenging, that's actually pretty normal. If you have questions now, even if you're watching a replay after doing the practice with me, feel free to put them in. This just gives you a little taste of some of the ways that you might move into working with the mind, the distractions, the thoughts, the monkey mind, all these kinds of things. And again, this is something we go into a little bit more deeply in the 6-week program called Mind, Clear Heart. And we also look at the 5 hindrances, which comes out of a more classical Buddhist perspective, although I generally teach secularly, non-religiously. But the different strategies we have for not being present, for resisting the moment. This is an important part of work to do in meditation practice, as long as we can do it with that care and that warmth, that compassion and kindness. So thank you for joining. Well, thank you for watching the replay. Sorry you couldn't join me live. That's okay. These things happen as well. I do have a little promotion going, which I guess I haven't really been promoting very well. Promotion takes work. It's not my favorite part to do, but I like to offer an extra incentive to sign up early for the 6-week program. Whereas if you sign up and you want to invite another partner, meditation buddy, I think the community is really helpful. So I like to offer you a second registration at half off, 50% off. So buy one, get one half off, something like that. I will send a coupon to anyone who registers, or if you're curious about that, ask me a question about that. All right, you guys, have an amazing day. I'm certainly going to go out and enjoy. I'm going to be outside as much as I can today, maybe even going in the ocean. And I will look forward to one last bonus session with you on Monday, same time as usual, Monday morning, where we're really going to look a little more deeply at those obstacles and challenges, practical or deeper. You can bring me questions then. It's almost like I have 2 live Q&As. One, today's is totally open. Monday, I have a little bit more of an agenda where we look at some of the more common excuses why we don't show up in meditation practice and problems in showing up. So it's called Why Not? So if you can, tune in for Why Not, or watch any of these replays. They're all available until Thursday, November 2nd, which is also when the Calm Mind Clear Heart program closes. And we decide the timing of our live calls after that, after I know who signed up. And usually with a small group, that's not an issue. Okay, lovely day. Be well.